pleased to welcome you to the 55th Annual General Meeting and to give highlights of the Federation's endeavors for the year ended 31st December 2013. The past year was another year of good performance for FKE, thanks to the consistent strategy, a committed management team led by the Executive Director, and above all, supportive members. The board remains confident for the year ahead that FKE's strategy will continue to generate sustainable returns for the members.
As I look back to the year 2013, I can say it was an exciting and difficult, challenging year, but within that, we were able to maintain the relationships that we have with our members, covering about 4,000 members across this country. The FKE remained strong, relevant, active, and responsive to your needs. We also grew in terms of membership by 122 new members who we welcomed into our membership, and you'll be able to see them towards the end of this book, the 122 members who were the new babies that joined the Federation.
It's the responsibility of Management Board of FKE to prepare these financial statements. Our responsibility is to issue an audit opinion, and therefore I go to the opinion paragraph. In these financial statements, we have issued an unqualified audit report, which in simple terms means we have given the financial statements of the Federation of Kenya Employers for 2013 a clean bill of health. And we also confirmed that we obtained all the information and explanation which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit.
For the year, we reported a surplus of 22 million compared to 17 in 2012, mainly because of good improvement in legal collections, the work we are doing in legal, and also the interest that we earned from the fixed deposit. In terms of comparing 2013 and budget, we had a budget of 184, but achieved incomes of 188, so we were above budget. We spent 166 million compared to a budget of 183 million, so we were below budget in terms of expenditure, and because of that reason, the surplus was better than expected.
The Labour Institutions Act does provide the various components that are critical in terms of dealing with issues of productivity in this country. And we know that productivity is one of the key elements that should be used as a wage determinant in this country. But we also do know that in this country, we do not have a productivity culture.
We need to have systems that helps us as institutions in the private sector to measure the productivity of our staff. And one of the key things that research has shown is that the private sector, as well as the government, in most instances do not have systems and processes that would measure productivity. So therefore it is important that we come up with systems and invest in systems and processes that will guide us in measuring productivity.
How much do you produce per person in Kenya? You know, one person in the United States is meant to produce 1,870,000 Kenya shillings per annum. That is equivalent to $45,000 per annum. Do you know how much the Kenyan is producing per annum? 172,000 Kenya shillings. You can imagine that 1 year on, we have not used a half of our development funds that have been sucked from our tax pockets. Isn't that true? So, why? You must ask yourself why. That is capital not implemented for productivity. Yet we are saying we want to increase productivity.
As government and private sector, we need to recognize the need for the private sector, which has been so critical to the economy of our country in particular, much more prominent than many other economies in the region. we need to find how we can work together to accelerate faster growth, to shoot for this very aggressive GDP target by the year 2030. As I said, the private sector is a key driver of that target. And within the private sector, of course, labor is a very, very critical component of your success or otherwise. There are many companies that talk about, employees as their best asset. Others talk about, they can't do without this. And to some, labor contributes 70% of their total cost, depending on which industry you are in. And whichever way you look at, without a very, very strong and successful labor environment, our private sector is not going to succeed. Your contribution has been absolutely superb and splendid. We want to make sure that private sector continues to play the biggest role in our economy, and the support of the public sector should come in handy. I think in the next probably 2 or so weeks, we'll be having another roundtable with the government and the private sector to talk about some of the successes that we've been able to generate, or indeed get some feedback on what we should do more of, or indeed less of, as may be appropriate.